10,000 government jobs need to be filled, but most people want nothing to do with it. Everything is being done to speed up the hiring process to entice and attract people to apply with very little results. This is happening within the New York State government. It's not the federal government, we're looking at state government. And for many of you, it makes more sense to pursue a state or a city job based on your location. But are you eligible and do they pay enough? All of these type of jobs, they're gonna offer a government pension, stability, healthcare benefits, and student loan forgiveness. For the state of New York, you're normally required to take a civil service exam. This used to be the case with the federal government too, but they got rid of it. So with this exam, you had to pay out of pocket. It's usually about $20 to $40. And this is before you even find out if you're eligible. But what type of jobs are we talking about? I'm gonna go ahead and look at an administrative job, an IT job, and then a job in finance. To find these jobs, you need to go to statejobs.ny.gov and then click Jobs Open to the Public. Then scroll down to the occupational categories and let's look for an administrative type job. We can see that there's a total of 37 jobs here. Let's look for something that you probably can do. So first we're going to look at an administrative specialist type job. We see an admin job here that pays between $50,000 and $82,000 a year in the salary grade 18 level. This one is in Albany, New York, which is where most New York government jobs are. If we click over to job specifics, you can see here that you need a 4-year degree to even be considered for this state job. Come on, New York, this is an admin job. You know you do not need a 4-year degree to do these duties. This exact position in the federal government, it would have zero educational requirement. The entire government is moving that way. Less college education is needed. It would be nice if New York can go ahead and get on board. Now, if you're curious about the pay chart of a New York State employee, we can look at something like this. This chart goes from salary grade 1 to 25, and there are 5 steps here. The top salary is a little over $150K a year. For this admin job, you need to focus on the duties section, right? It's not like a federal government job where you would find it under qualifications and specialized experience. Here, all those keywords, they're under duties. Let's see the experience you would need for this job. As you're reading the description, it's starting to sound more like an HR job. You'll be processing requests to fill vacancies, researching, analyzing, identifying solutions to HR issues, publishing job postings, and monitoring email. You have to do it this way because if you scroll all the way down to the KSAs, which is the knowledge, skills, and abilities required for this job, you're just gonna find a bunch of generic language. Now, for every job posting, they like to put this information in different areas. Okay, let's check out IT jobs now. Scroll down to the occupational categories, click on IT, and we see a lot more jobs in this category with 149 open jobs. I'm gonna select IT specialist because this is what I would consider a generalist in the IT field. The salary for this one is between $65,000 and $82,000 a year at grade 18. If you click on job specifics, this is a job that you do not need to have a college degree if you have 2 years of experience in IT. Good job, New York. This should be the standard. If there is not a hard educational requirement tied to that position, and I'm talking about your administrative positions, I'm talking about your HR positions, you should accept experience rather than education. Now, what makes you qualified for this job? You're gonna have to look in the qualification section. You need to have experience in quality assurance, accessibility testing, creating and executing test plans for audits, and creating design guidelines. This position is all about auditing New York State websites and applications to ensure compliance. Now, I think the overall salary for this position is way too low compared to federal jobs. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a finance job. We're gonna go back to the main page, click on finance, and we can see that there are 80 open jobs in this category. I'm gonna select a higher paying position for finance, but I want you to pay special attention to the experience required because it's gonna be a lot. We're looking at a project assistant, which doesn't sound like a fancy title. This has a salary of $93,000 to $117,000 a year. Then click on job specifics and you're gonna find out you need 8 years of experience to even be considered for this job. Now, it does say in there that a 4-year degree would substitute 4 years of experience. So if you do have a degree, you only need to show 4 years of experience. But if you compare that with the federal government, the general golden standard for federal government jobs is usually 12 months, so 1 year of experience. The experience for this job that you need is daily oversight of project staff, ensuring staff has training, reviewing work products. You will essentially be the business lead. When comparing New York State government jobs to the federal government, it's clear to see why they might be hurting for people. The salary is so much lower than if you look at the federal government. Now, one of the good things and one of the similarities that New York State has with the federal government is the pension. And it's the same amount of time to be fully vested, 5 years. But which one has a better pension? I ran some quick numbers using round numbers, and let's say you have a $100,000 a year salary. 20 years in New York, that person would receive $33,000 a year for their pension. The same thing with the federal government, $100,000 a year salary, they would only get $22,000 a year. So the state of New York, their pension is roughly 35% greater than the federal government. There's also teleworking. So through a lot of these job listings, you will see that it mentions you're able to telework 50% of the time. That means half of the time you can work from home. So why do people not want to work in New York? Well, I think the main reasons, there's two reasons. So the first one is kind of political. You see a lot about New York City, the high crime, the overregulation, the high taxes. That's one thing. There's always seems to be a lot of drama going on in New York City. The second thing is the cost of living. Even if you could earn a wage, let's say $80, $90, $100,000 a year, how far will that take you? Obviously, when people think of New York, they think of New York City with Manhattan, the Bronx, and things like that. They don't really think of Albany that much. Albany obviously has a lower cost of living, but does the salary and benefits justify taking that type of job? That's a question you have to answer yourself. Now, if you're interested in federal government jobs, you probably have a lot of questions on your mind about the federal hiring process, different government jobs, maybe the benefits. I did a live stream recently, answered over a dozen questions. A lot of these questions, they could be on your mind. If you're interested in checking that out, watch this video next. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.